Hey, guess what? The Prophecy Dungeon is back in the rotation as the featured dungeon this week in Destiny 2, and so that can only mean two things. First, it's one of your very last chances to farm till your heart's content for all the newly reprised dungeon loot before the final shape, which has been confirmed by Bungie themselves that the final 2 column perks will be able to be enhanced once the new DLC drops. And second, you need to know what to do and what to look out for. So with zero fluff and zero delay, as standard, let's get you up to speed for Prophecy loot farming, including the loot and rolls you can get, picking out some god rolls along the way. The main mechanic of each encounter involves motes of light and motes of dark, which you must obtain from defeating taken knights. You'll need to be studying either the light or dark when defeating the knights to make sure you've got the type you need, and you can easily tell which type you'll get as the edges of your screen will filter to indicate either light or dark. You'll then use these motes to cleanse either the light or dark columns respectively once you've collected 5 of the relevant motes. The opening encounter introduces you to this mechanic, but there's no loot drops at this point. The Phalanx Echo is the first boss with loot on defeating it, and from here you can get the Relentless pulse rifle or the Prosecutor auto rifle. You'll need to cleanse a total of 4 pillars to trigger a damage phase. The arena is small and you can get booped off easily, however just use cover as you take down the taken knights to collect the motes you need. Damage phase is fairly long, but a Well of Radiance, Tether, Thunder Crash, Swords or Rockets are all excellent boss melting choices, and with 3 players this should be a 1 phase, if not then just rinse and repeat until you beat it. As for the loot, Relentless is now a strand high impact frame pulse rifle sitting in the kinetic slot. PvE build crafters would know its ability to roll with both Slice in the 3rd column and Hatchling in the 4th column, lining up for some excellent strand build setups utilising the huge damage reduction offered by Sever and the destructive capabilities of Threadlings. Keep Away, Rapid Hit and Outlaw are also excellent choices in the 3rd column, and Desperado or Headseeker will be great for you PvP nuts. The Prosecutor is the arc precision frame auto rifle, and the PvE player in me is definitely on the lookout for a Dragonflight and Vault Shot roll because explosions are just good to see. Rewind rounds along with target lock can't be underestimated and will carry you hard in all types of content, otherwise Zen Moment and Tap the Trigger will work wonders in PvP. Moving on and onto the cube room once you've traversed the wastelands and defeated the taken blights in style. This one's less trickier and only requires 1 pillar to be cleansed in each room, and this is indicated by the glowy white orb which will be on one of 5 plates on the walls or ceiling in that room. To get the taken knights to appear, you'll need to beat the taken hobgoblins and be mindful of where you're standing so you can trigger the correct type of motes. This one can take a while, especially if you keep getting orbs on the ceiling in multiple sections, but ultimately, good ad clearing weapons and something at range to deal with hobgoblins won't go amiss here. Loot wise, you'll be treated to the Adjudicator SMG or the Sudden Death Shotgun. Starting with the kinetic precision frame Adjudicator, it doesn't have anything too fancy to write home about, with Onslaught probably being the standout pick in the 4th column, which drastically increases its rate of fire by 37% at a 3-time stack. Pair that with Subsistence, Threat Detector or Perpetual Motion in the 3rd column, or you can even keep a lookout for Rampage and Target Lock in the 4th column. A Sudden Death has a ton going for it in my opinion, and Void lovers out there will be happy with the fact that it can roll with Repulsor Brace in the 3rd column and destabilising rounds in the 4th. This will give you infinite back-to-back Void overshields on defeating enemies and spread Void volatile explosions to anything nearby. PvP Sweatlords are currently chasing down a max range roll which consists of rifled barrel, accurized rounds, threat detector or slide shot along with opening shot. Just let me know if you want to take this bad boy for a spin. Moving on, and once you've whizzed through the Rainbow Road, it's on to the final boss, the Kell Echo. The mechanics work exactly the same, with only 3 pillars of light required to trigger the damage phase. After you cleanse a pillar though, watch out for the taken ogres that spawn, and these should be dealt with swiftly by a grenade, special or heavy weapon. Once you've cleansed 3 pillars, get your team to rendezvous in the middle glowy plate and warp to the boss room for damage and DPS. Currently, rockets and linear fusion rifles still reign king here, as do Thunder Crash Titans or Gathering Storm Arc Hunters. Wells and Tethers can work, but I'd either use them at the beginning or at the end of this section. Also, don't get caught out by the boss's taken blight teleporting or staying too far away from the boss, as you'll eventually die once this debuff reaches 10. A 1 phase is definitely great, but 2 or 3 won't take too long either. Onto the loot, and the boss can drop the Judgement Stasis Adaptive Frame Hand Cannon or the Darkest Before Now Solar Rapid Frame Pulse Rifle. Judgement is absolutely S tier in my opinion, as it can roll with the unique and powerful combo of Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie. Maximum grenade energy recharge rates with a huge damage buff to boot, and this is making stasis turrets on Warlocks look real nice for the upcoming onslaught mode with Into the Light. Headstone and timed payload is also tickling my fancy, but I'm not sure why to be honest, and as for PvP, I wouldn't bother too much at this point, but if I really had to say anything, go for Moving Target and Eye of the Storm, maybe. The Darkest Before is now solar, and that only means one thing: Heal Clip and Incandescent for maximum healing and ignition synergy with your favourite solar subclass setups. All of these weapons come with the new Crossing Over Origin trait, boosting range at the top half of the mag and damage at the bottom half. This isn't anything too drastic, but anything is always a welcome bonus, especially on these iconic Trials of the Nine OG Destiny 2 Year 1 weapons. Definitely tried to keep this short and sweet, but if you want to see a full solo flawless run in all its glory, check out this video shown here. Otherwise, if you want to be DPS ready for the final shape, try this video out instead. As always, shout out to these members for keeping the channel alive, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.